Welcome to SMOPPY'S world. This is your beautiful, ever-smiling host, Lady Holla. SMOPPY'S world is where we get to talk about real-life issues. We talk about faith, family, health, relationships, career, marriages, and many more. I share precious lessons from my world of experiences, and I'm sure you will have one or two to take home and put to use. If you have been following me this far, I want to say thank you for sticking around. And if you're new here, you are welcome to my world. Don't forget to follow me on all social media platforms. Coming up on your screen right after this episode. So today, we are going to be talking about finding the one. You see, for every discussion, we need a detailed breakdown. And so we are going to be diving into that today. Today, we're going to be defining what I mean by the one. We're going to be talking about the pressure of finding the one. What are the questions you need to ask yourself about your partner to ensure they are the one? For today's episode, oh my goodness, I have an amazing guest here with me. Together, we will be digging deep and helping you find answers to your questions about the one. Before we officially begin, I'd like to specially introduce my guest to you. His name is Pastor Charles. I call him Engineer Charles. He's an husband, he's a father, he's a dynamic man of God. And today I just want to welcome him to SMOPPY'S world. My engineer, welcome to SMOPPY'S world.
Thank you so much.
Before we start, I want to quickly congratulate you. I was told that it's your wedding anniversary this week. Let me congratulate you and say happy anniversary, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Before we continue, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Charles Edobo, and I'm a civil engineer by profession, and I'm a pastor by calling.
Amen.
So I'm a husband of one wife and two kids.
Wow.
And also I have a ministry here where I serve as a branch pastor in Ajman.
I believe you're also a podcaster.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want us to quickly dive into talking about the one. When people talk about how do you know is the right person for you to marry, how do you know is the right guy, or how do you know is the right girl? Can you share with us a little bit about how did you know that Pastor Mabel was the right babe?
Okay. In my own experience, I think I will share a little light on my own experience. How do I know that Pastor Mabel is the one for me? Number one, I didn't see her in my vision.
Thank
like
God,
other people always say.
Right.
I didn't see her in my dream that, like I'll hear a voice like, this is
your
the
wife.
one for you. So I didn't see that, but I prayed about it.
Okay. How
was I convinced that she is the one for me? Number one, because of the testimonies of people.
Right.
Yeah. I asked questions about her, about her background. And the people I was actually asking, they were all saying the same thing. All right. Maybe it's a very good person, nice person, easy to go person. He doesn't like issues and just like that. So the first person said the same thing. The second person said the same thing. The third person said the same thing. And I knew that this testimony is true. So I had this conviction in my spirit. I had peace. That peace was priceless. So that peace actually was what drove me to say, okay, let me go ahead with this one.
Wow.
So I didn't have, we didn't date. There was no, courtship and all that, no courtship.
Really?
But I had that peace because I was here, she was back home, but that peace was there. So because of that peace, I just knew that this is the voice of God for me. I didn't have to wait to hear from any prophet or see in a dream or hear the voice of God, for myself. But I defined that peace as the audible voice of God for my marriage. So I went ahead.
Wow. That's interesting. If you're watching us, Smoppies World will be glad if you can share your own story. How did you know your husband is the one or your wife is the one? Please leave us a comment and, let us know what your story is about. When I met my husband, in my first marriage I knew he was not the right man. So that's a long story for another episode.
Yeah.
So when I met my husband, I was in a church service.
Inside the church?
Inside the church. I tell these stories all the time. We were in the night vigil service. And at that time, I was still in that crazy marriage that I was in. But because of the pain and everything the abuse that I went through in that marriage, in that church at that moment, he was standing right in the front of the church and he was giving testimony. And I looked at him, I said, in my heart, and I said, Lord, why can't this man be my husband? Something jumped out of my soul. And when I said that, I felt this unbelievable peace. But, it may not sound okay.
Somehow, because you're already
because
somewhere.
I'm already somewhere. And even though I was not happy there, but I was already somewhere. To be having that at the back of my mind. And guess what? 2 years later, the marriage got dissolved. We came together, just miraculously.
Like wow.
And he wasn't living in London. He was living in LA. He traveled to London, where I was based. He traveled to London, and after that night, he went back to London, and he didn't come back until after 2 years.
Wow! After the testimony, he went back to
yes. And when he came back, we exchanged numbers, and that was it. I just knew.
There's this thing inside of you.
There was something on this side of me that was. I know that it was a voice of God. At that time, I'm talking about. I was a church goer because there's a difference between being born again and being a church goer.
Yeah.
I was religious, but I was not spiritual. So at that time, I didn't have that relationship with Christ. But there's a voice on the inside of me. The first day he called me, I had the Holy Spirit saying to me that I needed to treat him different. Love him because he has never been loved.
Wow.
And I'm saying to myself, how can I love somebody? I don't even know how to love anybody. And that was it for me. So everyone, I believe everyone will have a story.
Yeah, of course.
About when they found the one. Is it easy to find the one? Is it something? Do you hear audible voice or it just happened? Everybody's case is different. Everybody's story is different.
That's true. That's true.
I'm amazed with your story. Like you didn't date, you just knew based on people's testimony.
I got to a point where I was literally confused about relationship. Then I said to myself, I'm going to settle for anybody. I was already at that point where I made up my mind to settle for anybody. Why? Because of the disappointment I've had. Yeah, the first person I dated was like 6 years. There was no issues. There was no issue. She just woke up and she said, I don't want any more. So I did all that I could to bring her back, but it didn't work out.
It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to be. So I went to another one again. For 2 years, I did introduction, did everything. All of a sudden, she just called. She's in the UK. She just called and said, I'm no longer interested. And just like that, like 4, relationships just like that, got broken. Then I was at the point where I said, no, this thing does not, anybody can just go. Because I grew up with this fear. Let me say it's like a prophetic fear. Prophetic fear in the sense that I'll go to church then. As a teenager, they will tell me, oh, this one, you are going to be a pastor. You're going to be a great pastor. But be careful of the kind of wife you are going to marry. So I have this at the back of my mind of not making a mistake in marriage. And because of that, I was almost like in prison. Because everybody I see, anybody that comes to me, I see potential mistakes in them. Because I was already, moving with that mindset. Okay, don't make mistake. If not, you are going to be destroyed. So I know that, okay, I'm going to be a pastor. I'm already a pastor. Now the fear of not making mistake was overwhelming me. So even if you are the right person, maybe you make little mistake, I will not see you as a bad person. Because I was being, driven by those prophetic words. Not just one person, not 2, not 3, not 4 prophets. Just like that. So until I get to a level where I said to myself, if I want to make mistake, let me make mistake. It's getting too much because I was already in a cage. I couldn't just make decision for myself. I was always afraid, of making mistakes and all that until this issue of maybe came up. So I said to myself, I find peace. Let me just go ahead and do this. So that was how I'm here.
Wow.
And I'm very happy.
We thank God because of those who didn't hear audible voice, because of those that they're watching right now and they don't really have the same experience that we do. There are some guidelines that I can quickly help you guys with. How you know the one, based on my experience, right, is you are comfortable being yourself with the person. That is a key there. If you are comfortable being yourself in front of this person, he might be the one or she might be the one.
Yeah.
The second one is how they relate to their friends and families, because it's very important for me that whoever I'm dealing with, I want to see how you talk to your mother. I want to see how you handle your baby sister or your baby brother.
That's true.
I want to see how you deal with your friends, because whichever way this person is dealing with their friends or their families or their mom or their dad, that is their character. They're basically telling you this is who they are. So that's your cue to know that, okay, is it the right person or is it the wrong person? And also being together helps both of you to grow. When you are with this person, are you growing? Is your life moving forward? Is he jealous of your success, or is he always whining when things are going right for you and not for him or for her? That's a cue. And also, does this person demonstrate the ability to build relationship? Because some people, they just like short relationship. They're not really sure where they're going. And sometimes what is driving it is because of their past experience, what they've been through, the abuse and bad relations that they've been. So that's your cue. So for you to know, okay, how do I recognize this person? These are the things that you can look at. And the person, does this person value you? Does he value growth?
Yeah.
Is he going somewhere? It took me a while before I know that you don't marry for just marriage sake. You marry into purpose. If this person doesn't have a purpose or doesn't understand what purpose is, and you do, I might not be the right person.
Yeah.
But until he does, this is just me sharing this from my own experiences. So we're still waiting for you to share your experiences. Don't forget to comment and leave your experience. So the second point that I want us to talk about today is the pressure of finding the one. I have noticed that most people are often pressured by their parents or their friends. One of the reasons that I went into that relationship was by environmental pressure. My parents were dead at this time. I was 25 years old, and my siblings were on my neck as if I've turned 40 and there was nobody calling.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was in an environment where I needed something. If I do not have stability in that place, if nothing is working for me, I will be deported back to Nigeria. So I had that situation hanging behind my head.
Yeah.
It's hanging, and at the same time with my siblings' pressure. So that kind of got me to get into bad relationship. From the beginning, I knew it was the wrong one.
Yeah.
So how can we help somebody with this about them not giving up to pressure? Because giving up to pressure would not allow them to find the one that we're talking about.
That's true. To me, I believe that when it comes to destiny deciding matters like marriage, you must be 100% responsible. That's it. I believe that nobody should allow pressure when it comes to marriage. Nobody should allow pressure when it comes to discovering who you are. You should be the one to go into it yourself. But the problem is a lot of people today, they allow this pressure to get into them. Because many a time, families, like you said, they want to remind you of your age.
Yes.
Or you're not getting younger, your mates are married, and they are telling you about all these things. And because of that, you feel like you are missing something, you are missing out.
Yes.
And because you want to make them happy, you go into that relationship. Like you said now, the man you got married to first, you knew that from the beginning,
yes,
this is not going to work. But for the sake of the happiness of the family, you have to do it.
Yes.
All right? So I knew a lady there who the mom will always call her every month to remind her to say, when are you going to bring a man to the house? When are you going to bring a man to the house? Now, every month she goes into depression. Because she was already 37 years and nobody is even coming. Until she told me and I said to her, can you marry yourself? She said, no.
Okay.
You are a woman. You are not a man. Now, it's somehow for an African woman to approach a man to say, marry me. You know, in Africa, it's not like that. We just believe that, oh, the man had to go and meet the woman, which is our culture, like that. I say, you cannot do that. If you do that now, even if it's not even wrong, the guy or the man himself is going to think that you are cheap. That's how we think. All right, if you do that. So you cannot go and approach a man and to say, come and marry me. You can't do that. So you are a woman, you have to prepare yourself and wait for the man to come. All right.
Yes,
so
sir.
even if you are doing your best, if the man is not coming, what can you do? Eventually nothing. If it's a man, I'll say, okay, a man can just go and meet another woman and say, please marry me. I want to marry. But as a lady, don't allow yourself to be pushed to that level where you know that you are about to make a mistake. But because you want to satisfy somebody else who is out there, you go into it. Because many a time, we don't understand that these same family members, they are not the one to be in the marriage. They are not the one to suffer the consequences of your decision, of their decisions for you. Because you are the one that will be in that marriage. So for me, I will advise that don't allow yourself to be pushed by anybody. Take your time. All right? If you know that you, as a young lady, you are trying your best, doing your best as a young lady, to position yourself for the man to come, and the man is not yet coming, then keep doing your best. One day he will show up. Because if you decide to say, okay, let me just marry her so that these issues will just come to an end, so that my mother can have rest. Many of these people, they are selfish.
Yes.
People that are pushing you, they are selfish because what do they want?
Yes.
Give me grandchild.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Give me grandchild.
Yes.
So that I can also say my children are also getting married. You see that majority of them who are pushing their children, they are selfish. It's not really because of the happiness of their children.
No, it's for them.
It's for them.
Yeah.
Whatever you do it for them. And you make them happy and you make yourself unhappy. So we need to understand how to manage pressure. Sometimes when you are being pushed, when you are put under pressure, say no. Work with your own time. It's better you work with your own time and be happy than for you to work with their own time and end up regretting. Because tomorrow, the same people, if you later fail in that same marriage tomorrow, the same people are still going to have something to say.
Oh, yes.
To say, we told you, we warned you, we told that this man is not a good man. Not knowing that they were the same people who were saying that you are going out of age.
Yes.
So it is better you don't dance to their music. Sometimes, like I said, when it comes to destiny defining factors, like marriage and all that, you must be responsible. 100% responsible for your decisions. If you fail in marriage, let it be that you didn't point to your father or you didn't point to your mother. You point to yourself to say, I made this mistake myself, so I will have to bear the consequences. For me, this is what I decided to do. To say, okay, I will be the one to make my decisions. So whatever that happens to me, I will not have to blame anybody. I'll blame myself. So I think everybody should be responsible for themselves, so that you don't have to blame your failure or your success to anybody. So you blame it on yourself.
It's funny that you said that, because I experienced that. I experienced that, and it was very painful. It took a lot from me. I lost my self-esteem. I lost myself. I was pressured to get into this relationship. And what people don't understand is, when you are pressured to get into one relationship in order to have peace from the family, what they're not understanding is it's going to be more crazier. When you get into that relationship or get married to that person, the peace of mind that you thought, let me just do so that my parents or my family can get off my back, you discover that you've dig your own grave and you're about to bury yourself in it.
That's it.
So my advice, based on my experience, is I will say that when you're dealing with pressure like that, you've got to talk about yourself. Be truthful to yourself. Talk to yourself. Like, okay, am I ready for this? Is this for them or is it for me? What are the benefits I'm going to get in this? And another thing that I would say is you need to take into consideration all the factors and give yourself some time to figure things out. It's important that you have your own time. Don't let nobody push you. Like my pastor said, don't let nobody put pressure on you, because at the end of the day, it is your life. You're going to be the one living in that life.
That's it.
You are going to be the one dealing with that craziness when it comes. Because people, they have the tendency of pushing you to the corner where they turn back and leave you there.
Yeah, they leave you there to
They
deal with
leave you
it.
there.
Yeah.
They leave you there. And at the end of the day, they will start blaming you. They call you names. I mean, I've been called so many names. If God has not changed my name, I don't know what kind of name I'll be bearing today. But glory be to God.
And you were doing it for them.
I was doing it for them. And another thing I want to leave with you is be gentle with yourself. Don't allow anyone to put you under unnecessary pressure.
That's it.
Do not at any time allow anyone to put you under unnecessary pressure. Remember, you only have one life to live. And if the right person is not here yet, you will still find the one. It's better that you wait for a long time than rushing into a relationship that you will rush out.
That's it.
And it comes with pain.
That's it.
That's what it is. So as we round up, let's quickly talk about the question that someone needs to ask themselves about our partner to ensure that we have the right one. For me, the question that I feel that they need to be asking, I'm going to let you speak, but for me, I think the question that they need to be asking themselves is, do I like who I am when I'm with this person? Do I feel comfortable being my true self around this person? Do they support my strongest passion? Do they support my values and beliefs? Are they open to learning and growing? Does this person want to learn or want to grow in any way? Do you have shared interests? I love to watch football and she likes to cook. Do you share the same interests? It's important. Do you both fight well and resolve conflict well? Because that's important. Not that you will fight today and then for 1 week you won't be talking, and when you get married you'll be cohabitating.
Yeah.
In the house for 1 month, you won't be talking. I mean, I was walking to the gym this morning, and a couple would normally see them at the gym. So I walk alone today. My husband didn't go to gym. Yeah. And this lady saw me. She said, "Ola, are you alone today?" I said, "I am." She said, "Did you fight Victor?" I said, "No, I didn't." I said, "I don't even do that because my Bible told me not to let the sun set on my anger." I said, "I don't do that." And she looked like me funny. She said, she told her, she said, I have not spoken to this guy. That's her husband. I've not spoken to her for 3 days. So automatically she believed that, that's what everybody does. Yeah. So it's important that like you ask yourself this question. When we have arguments, how do we resolve this conflict? Do we keep on going on about it, or do we just leave it there and discuss about things? Yeah. These things are very, very important. So my pastor, as we round up, what do you say about the question that they need to be asking for them to ensure that this is the right person?
For me, I believe that one of the first things that they should consider is love and reverence the person has for God. Because I believe that it will be easier for us to have a smooth relationship. Like what you said now, you said, my Bible said.
Yes.
Because you have fear for the Lord.
Yes.
It will be easier if we have both fear for the Lord. Okay. So I think that anyone who is in a relationship with anybody should consider the fear and reverence that the other party has for the Lord. Now, the Bible was saying something about Joseph. He said, how can I do this?
Yeah.
And sin against God and my master.
God. Yeah.
All right. So when the fear of the Lord is there, a lot of issues will be handled on their own, because your partner does not want to offend you because of the love he has for God. Okay. Now, for instance, I was saying something yesterday on TikTok to them. I said, the reason why you are suspecting your boyfriend or your girlfriend is because he doesn't have fear for the Lord. Yeah, because if your boyfriend has the fear of the Lord, he can be away for 2 years. You will not be afraid, because he is not going to do whatever you are afraid of, not because of you. Yes. Because he has fear for the Lord.
Yes.
All right. So number one, I think we should consider that before you go into a relationship with somebody, make sure this person has regard for God. People don't have regard for God. They don't have respect for God. The Bible made mention of a man who has no fear or regard for man, or regard for God. So there are people like that. If you have somebody who speak ill of God, who say there is no God, that means there is a tendency, if you marry such a person, you're going to be having problem, because he doesn't respect or fear God. All right. That's number one. Number two, I think you look into the issue of forgiveness. The issue of forgiveness. If you are dating somebody who says, I cannot forgive my mother. To me, I will tell you, this is a serious red flag that you have to look into. All right. If you cannot forgive your mom because of what your mom did to you, that means if I offend you, you're never going to forgive me. So we must look into the issue of forgiveness within ourselves. If the man does not forgive, it's a no-go area for me. right? Number three, I think we should also look at the level of background. Yeah, we also look at the level of background. There are so many families that are not marriageable. It is not because they are not physically fine or beautiful, but they are not just marriageable. Sometimes you need to look behind and look at the marriages of other people in the family. Then if you know that, okay, I am able to, fight with this person, I will fight this battle with this person, so I can make this person a different person from the family, it's a different thing entirely. All right. I've seen families that nobody get married and stay married. All right. So you must check also the background. As you are dating somebody, check the background if this person is the kind of person that is marriageable as family. All right. We should also look at the health compatibility. So check the health status. If is this person compatible with your health? If not, I think we should have to believe God for a change first, or you just go your separate ways. So I believe that so many times when we are dating people, we forget all these things because we are moved with emotions, we are moved with infatuations.
Yes,
I love you, I love your shape, you are so beautiful. But we forget some of these little two things.
That is more. It's more than shape.
They are more important. They are more interested in the shape and the look, and they forget all these things. So I think, and would like in addition with what you just said, I think if you put them together, some people can be able to get the right partner.
To get the right partner.
Yeah.
For us that are in the household of faith, we have Holy Spirit that guides and leads us if we listen.
Yeah.
But for those that doesn't know God, or they don't believe in God, and they are looking to, how do I know things that I need to be looking for when the right one comes?
Yeah.
I just want to say one of the things that is important that you put into action. First of all, you need to know yourself.
Yeah.
You need to know what you want. Everyone should have a list of who they want their life partner to be and the qualities that they need to have. When you have your list, you start to check them before even if you only take 6 out of 10.
At least.
I think you got the right person. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Pastor Charles, thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Thank you, Ma.
And thank you for sharing your stories, and thank you for the advice that you've given onto our audience. Love yourself and love everyone around you. Tune in next week. Next week, we're going to be having an amazing episode next week. We're going to be talking about how to be the best partner in your relationship. Be on the lookout for that. I'm looking forward to having conversation in that comment section with you. Stay blessed.